Oh, Mr. Flowers, what do we got going on
Oh,
here?
hey, I just it's that time of the year. Things are kind of hectic. School's wrapping up, and sometimes you just got to stop and smell the flowers. Kind of collect
Okay.
yourself.
I guess that's the flowers for the allergy inflicted among us.
Yes, I don't normally have allergies, but let's just say my black truck is Steeler gold. It's black and gold out there. There's just this gold tint over the whole thing from all the pollen.
That's funny. I guess I'm so close to Philly because it's been green when I wake up. We don't have gold. We got straight to green. I didn't associate it with football, but there we go. The CEO of Casa de Verno will be annoyed that that's a new record of football being mentioned. Okay. All right. We got it. All right. So that doesn't look like real flowers. Those look like some Lego flowers.
Yes. Made these at a PAECT event in the Southwest.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, they have another one coming up in June, but we'll talk about that some other time.
Yeah. All right. New sponsor too. So we appreciate Lego Education. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, man. How's life? It is May 20th. Can you believe it?
This is our last full week of school.
Oh, and thank you so much for joining. We're going to hang up on Tom right now. You bum. Oh yeah. We got
last day for grades, or seniors have already turned their stuff in. But our underclassmen, which I teach, Friday's the last day for grades. We're done next week. Next Thursday's, our last full day. Then the kids come in Friday. Graduation's Friday. They're in school for an hour.
Yeah.
So it has been crazy.
Yeah.
Hectic stuff going on. We had Keystone tests last week. I had to proctor 3 days, which caused all kinds of friction because some kids had me all morning, all afternoon, and then they were my ninth period. We went back to class, 8th and 9th period, and they had me in class, so they get to hang out with me all day. I would like to say that was, I told them they get bonus time, but they weren't happy about that. They were the ones that were kind of mad about it. Like, we have you all day. We're stuck with you. Like, yep.
That's funny. That's good stuff. Yeah. So you hit that time. This is the longest month, but we've got 4.5 this week. Of course, today I was working on science curriculum writing because there's nothing better than doing that in May. And so we have a half day Friday, then we're off Monday with the Memorial weekend. And then, so the full week next week. And then we roll into the week of June. So our last day is the 5th. So we're getting there, but we still have a little bit more than just 1 week. So I appreciate you rubbing that in. It's good stuff. Well, a lot of stuff to talk about. I mean, a lot of stuff going on. Of course, I'm in a sweatshirt because we got that nice chill in the air weather coming through, because why not? It's May in Pennsylvania. And it makes perfect sense.
I didn't break down and wear a heavier coat. I wore my light jacket for parking lot duty, but it was chilly enough to, as I told my principal on my exit interview for the year, said, I still want to do early morning duty, but I don't want to be in the parking lot because I'm getting a little too old to be out in the cold when it's 6 degrees. I said, it's time for someone younger to step up. And this morning I was like, I'd rather be inside.
Yeah. Well, and to all of our dog walkers listening, make sure you're dressing appropriately because you never know what's going to happen during the month of May. It's crazy. So, all right. So we got a lot of stuff going on. It's the month of May. It's the 20th. It's kind of late in the calendar of the month. And there was no wing special at my local stop tonight. So that means it's not Wednesday.
No.
And I don't think it's Monday because, we already had 2 days of school. So I think it's Tuesday. What do you think?
It is. It's Tuesday. It's the 3rd Tuesday of the month.
Huh. Well, I guess it's time for
the PAECT pod.
All right, let's roll it. Welcome to the PAECT Pod, a show for educators by educators. PAECT is a 100% volunteer-run organization that focuses educational technology integration in the classroom in Pennsylvania and
beyond.
My name is Eric Verno, and I am the president of PAECT for a short little while here, rolling through. And with me today, as always, is my co-host,
Dom Salvucci. I'm the vice president of PAECT. So I see this
right.
game is starting up early.
That it is. All right. So today we are on episode 81, EdTech in Full Bloom. A great title created by Copilot, not a sponsor, but they should be. All right. So good stuff using the AI to our advantage. So a lot of stuff going on, but I wanted to get the show kicked off because, I got some fun stuff that's kind of technology related. So we're going to jump in. This has no bearing on anything we're doing. Let me make sure our commercials get over here. Hold on one second. All right. So in lovely fashion of Dom and I being the fans of football that we are, 2025 schedule releases came out and a lot of teams are now getting on board. Oh, there it is. Oh man, okay. Steelers fans. We're not going Steelers first. We're going with Tech Tie, a little Minecraft action. And the Chargers came out with theirs. Beautiful scene. So love it if you get a chance to check it out. They go through and they've made Minecraft, all their different characters are the different sports teams. So everybody they play whenever the weeks are. So that was a really good one. And so let's see here. We'll check out another one that's got a little bit of a game time feel to it.
Welcome to ATL cards. Select the level. NFL Grand Prix. Select your player. Maybe not as him. Select map.
So kind of a creative way they're going through the Mario Kart there, and they're going through the schedule pretty good. And then going for the nostalgia piece, Dom. All right. Some of our listeners, if Pal's online, he may not know this game. Taking it a little slow intro. I'm going to fast forward here a little bit for the 49ers. Ode to the Oregon Trail. I don't think this one has dysentery, though. I think we're safe. All right, now to tip my cap to the Steelers fans that are watching.
It's NFL schedule release day, and we couldn't resist the call of the Squatch.
So that's why we're in the woods of southwestern PA to kill some time.
We just got an anonymous tip on our Discord channel that there's a Squatch in them woods. Being Steelers, we know a thing or two about hard work.
We've been tracking Sasquatch since our Wisconsin days.
We've heard it.
We've smelled it.
I fear one night we may have even tasted it.
But we've never been able to capture it on film.
Tonight, stories about what the ancient Hawaiians used to call the Menehune. Legend has it, they're a mysterious people.
All right, so they go through and they're going squatching, checking out the different things. Who are those players?
They are players.
Okay. All right, now we're gonna go with another old school video game. Commander's Tycoon.
Cheese.
And the last one I'll show. So those are all video game related. There's our technology component. And if you're Apple TV, there you go, your Apple nod there, Dom. There's a show, I believe it's called Severance, where the characters, their brains have been something like disconnected, that their real life and their work life are different. And the Ravens decided to do a little bit of a homage to that. Oh, got a little commercial here. Let's get past this. And they go through an interview with guys.
Between my professional football life and my personal life.
Who are you? My name is Trent. I'm from work. So we're friends?
And so this is what they do all day. Office kind of a deal, and the setup's kind of the same way. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Each category of numbers presents in such an order as to elicit an emotional response in the refiner. There'll be
All right, so that's just a very comical way that NFL teams are currently rolling out their release. I thought the Sasquatch was pretty good, and Zach Thomas is a great player for the Miami Dolphins. He was a great linebacker, and his is just kind of a voiceover in doing so. I didn't play it. I just have to humbly say, I don't think they didn't hit it in 2025. So maybe next year. And I guess the Bills had Allen Iverson and some different things they did with theirs. So, but you should go ahead and do a check. 2025 club schedule release videos. Check them out. Check your favorite team. I forget who the Eagles had. I forget what they did. Oh, it's kind of a all right, we'll throw this one on real quick just because of the music. All right, that's kicking a little old school there with theirs, but so just kind of a fun play on technology, football, the whole deal. So all of the people that say, you guys talk about football a lot. Now we tied into the technology piece, and you're looking for something to do in your classroom. Go ahead and show a couple of those. They're pretty good.
We're gonna jump into the biggest news so far. This is
there it is. Dolphins
Monday night
at the Steelers on Monday night game. I don't know. Can you get us tickets, Tom? I don't know. We got to figure it out.
Not. They've been sold out for years, but let me check something here.
Maybe a good tailgating. I could show we could do some tailgating.
Oh, we could definitely do that because I have friends that go down there and we could just jump. That is the third Monday, which you know what that means.
Oh man, got to be ready to roll the next day for the PAECT pod. All right.
Yeah. You'd like broadcast live from the game.
Can we get broadcast live from the game? We'll watch it on our phones and do play-by-play analysis. I like it. Good stuff. All right. Yeah, there's some new features here in StreamYard world here. There's overlays and stuff. There's comments, things to kick out. Oh, seriously. Our first comment just kind of brings me down.
Now you're making ELO references.
Got Missy. Come on, Missy. Steelers. All right. So she's glad she's got you on that, buddy. I don't know if you showed that while I was talking, but she's with you on that one. She doesn't like your Tay-Tay references, but she likes your Steelers reference. So, all right. Good stuff. All right, man. So tech in full bloom. Tell the audience what we're going to be chatting about today.
So basically, it's, we were bouncing ideas back and forth. And as the school year's wrapping up, with all the events going on, using technology to leverage your time, make the most of your time. I just had to take a sick day yesterday, family sick day. I was able to jump in and grab one of my mini lessons because it was a last second absentee. Push that out because we don't have a lot of subs, but I could push things out to the kids through the online classroom. So even though I have like 4 days to get grades in, and some of these kids need grades, I can push information out, and I have little micro lessons built in for the end of the year. So it's basically leveraging technology, various types of technology for the hectic time. Last week was Keystones as my camera. I'm shaking my desk stand here. But, last week was Keystones. And a lot of schools are testing. I think the window's ending shortly. You have the end of the school year. You have field trips. You have picnics. You have all kinds of other things. And I will be right back because my camera froze. But you can still hear me, I believe.
Your Italianisms. I can hear you. I didn't like your Italianisms. So, we're going to talk about what are you using in your classroom, meaningful education technology to keep the kids engaged because the weather's nice outside. They're getting close to summer. The older I get, the more I dislike countdowns because I feel like it makes the year go forever. But used to do it all the time as early or young, less experienced, less salt and pepper, or as my daughters like to tell me, more salt and pepper these days, type of teacher. But just like, what are you using that's beneficial? Because again, we don't want to just have them do stuff, right? You're still doing some review stuff. You're still preparing them for the next level. You've got seniors on their way out. You've got juniors, sophomores, freshmen in your room, preparing them for that next class. I got 6th graders. I'm preparing them for the middle school, going over different things, tips and tricks and working with them. So you were talking about something you just did just recently. Did you want to talk about that right now, Dom, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first. I went first last show.
Chivalry, I tell you. All right, hold on a second. I'm trying to pull up this account. Well, I got one. Let's see here.
Oh.
Boom. There it is.
Those of you, hopefully you voted. Today is primary voting day.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Rochelle's just checking in. Hey, Rochelle.
All right. So one of the things, and I know I've talked about this before, but GimKit, right? So if you have an account, they open up a new game or 2 every month, and then they'll pull back in the different ones that they have. So again, I just have the free account, and I rely on what is it that they're opening up free for the month. So we've got Capture the Flag, One Way Out, which is a newer one the kids really like. So when you kind of go in, so if I'm going in, let's say I'm doing multiplying equations and I go to play live, this will show me the ones that I have access to. Diamond Rush, brand new. Kids enjoyed playing it. It's got a little bit of the nostalgic Mario feel. Don't Look Down's a pretty good one where they're going up, and then a classic Tycoon. So again, if you have just a free account, you always get 3 free games, and 2 of them rotate usually every month. Tycoon, like usually some of the older ones, they keep there for a few months in a row. So that Diamond Rush is brand new to the whole game. So the kids were really excited about that. But again, you could pull in so many things. Now a trick that and then the other games that they do have that the kids always want to play. This blast ball is a really fun one if you have an account. I do know some teachers that kind of juggle email accounts to be able to unlock a 30-day free. But $4.99, we met the developer at ISTE last year. Great kid. $4.99 if you're using it a good bit, thank your devs, thank your developers. It's a great tool to do. But again, it's so versatile at what you're able to do. And I actually had a student they went in and basically with a developer account that you can do for free, he created the game. So he made it live. He sent it to me and I was able to project it. And then the kids were on and playing his game. And even there was a couple things that he had to fix while the kids were playing it, but it was a really cool opportunity to share. And they were like, oh my word, you made this. It's so exciting. And then it was kind of cool to see that kid. Like, he's usually very quiet in class. He was kind of able to step up. He was able to kind of pull some kids under his wing and show them how he created it. So just got that excitement going. And I just sat back. I'm like, it was a cool game. It was, not over tons of time for me prepping and kind of setting it up. I was able to bounce between a couple different skills, went back to the first trimester for some of them, kind of picked one that was like, middle of the year and one that we just learned to kind of mix up the different variations and the way they were. So if you have not jumped back into GimKit, give it a shot. Diamond Rush is a pretty good one.
So with the developer accounts, what happens when they're done? Like once he makes the game, is that game available through his account or how does that work?
He could make it live or not, but I don't know if there's like a pay or anything that he could have, but yeah, he'd be able to make it live and let the kids, anybody have access to it kind of a thing. But what he did that day was, he created it. He got everything all set up and he just shared the code with me. And then I put that up on the screen and the kids were able to access it then. So yeah, it was really neat.
I have kids that make games and they've done some of that for the side quests in my classroom.
Yeah.
So that would be something neat to like turn them on to.
Oh my gosh. You have them make reviews for you, different stuff. That would be awesome if they're really into it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that blast ball sometimes makes it into the free realm for the free
accounts. Every so often.
My kids, we played that. They like it because I can't play it well. And I get Part of the problem is I put it on the big screen in front of the room. So like some of the games where you're trying to hide from people, they can just look at the big screen and track me down because they see where I'm at. So I have to go onto a second computer and play in as a alternative character.
They love finding you and torching the teacher is what my students will yell.
Oh yeah.
Especially in Minecraft when they try to let me on fire. But yeah, so it's always fun. So it's always a good time. So yeah, GimKit, if you've not thought about it, what do you got, Dom?
Basically what I've been doing this past week, building up throughout the year with AI, much to the chagrin of some of my students. I wanted to get them to the point where they're using it and using it responsibly, because let's face it, they're using it, but they're not necessarily doing it the right way. So we've been working throughout the year and kind of stacked some lessons. I'm not going to name the programs because they're not sponsors, but I used the one program, put out a presentation, a quote, Martin Luther King Jr., the pen is more powerful than the sword. And it was basically an opinion. And it fell in with the keystones, the writing and with social studies, being able to present an opinion and back it up. So I gave them the quote. We talked about it in class. And then instead of having them respond within the program, gave them all paper. And of course, none of the kids had pencils. Hand out pencils.
Yeah.
And we did a 5-minute writing, free write. So put a timer up from YouTube, some calm music, turned it on, let them write for 5 minutes. And then some of the kids were partway through and it said, no phones, computers closed. I don't want them doing any research. I just want them writing their opinion and their words. I said, that's the important part. It's your words, not research or anything else.
Yeah.
So they wrote, and then some of the classes went a little longer. I had kids like, I'm not done yet. I want to keep going. I'm like, okay. Once they wrote that, I had them take it and they put it back into the program, open their computers or use their phones, went into the program and wrote what they typed in to the computer, what they wrote. And I hit a button and they got feedback generated from artificial intelligence. And what I had done was whenever I set it up, I gave the program some parameters for responses and what I was expecting. I went in and I gave it like 4 responses. One, I took both sides of the argument just to see what it would say, tested the feedback. It was legitimate. I did one where I went like really bizarro off one side of the argument, and it kind of guided me back because you always have some of those kids that like to push the envelope. So I did that. Did a responsible response, like if I was actually trying. And I did another one that was kind of just haphazard, just to test the feedback to see if the feedback was what I wanted it to be. And it seemed to work. So kids got feedback, and that was Friday's lesson. Then yesterday I was out, so pushed an ed puzzle out to the kids. Separate topic, but a little mini unit one day, get them going. So today when I came in, opened up another AI tool that I have. And I told the kids, I said, here's 3 different options we can use. We went into the classrooms I've set up in that website. And I said, I don't know which one would be best. I think I know which one I would use, but I let them use different ones. I gave them 3 options. I said, type your information in. And if you want to make some adjustments, you can, but keep it close to what you wrote on paper. That's the key. I want your words. And then I showed them the prompt is going to be the hard part because it's like a Google search. If you don't know what you're searching for in Google, if you don't ask the question properly, you're not going to get the right information. And with AI, it's the prompt that gives you the output and the outcome. So they went in and asked for different suggestions, and it was trial and error. And some of the kids were like, this is just giving me a bulleted list. I said, well, what do you want? I want a paragraph. So how could we fix that? Oh, and they would go in and change the prompt, and they were learning the back and forth. And some of the tools they have, because it's free level, they don't get that back and forth with the AI they're using. But this was an educational one, and it's set up for a back and forth at the free level. And they were learning to manipulate it. And I says, grab it, pull it over into a Google Doc. I says, tell me which tool you used, give me the output and what prompt you gave. And then tomorrow, we're going to take that, put it back in the first tool. And then I want them to evaluate, did that help? Or can you do this on your own? And I want to get their opinion. I want them to make a value judgment on it, because you have the kids that dislike AI. One of my students brought up, do you ever think they dislike it because you say you like it? I'm like, quite possibly. I said, you're going to have those. Then you have some kids that don't know how to use it, but they use it all the time, and it's not necessarily right. So teach the responsibility and let them know that, hey, it's not always the best tool, but it's one of many. So told them it's definitely faster.
Yeah.
It's definitely, and the more you put in, the better you write your prompts and the better you write the information. Because I've shown them, I says my prezzies that I built on my own, black text, little video snippets, white background. Now with the AI, with Prezi, I can do the type in all the information I need, and at that point, it makes it a really nice presentation. But all the information is mine, because one of the students asked me the other day, like, how much fact checking do you have to do? Like, it depends on what you put in. So you can type in. I've grabbed some of my old presentations, grabbed all the data off of it. I know I've already fact checked it. Here's what I need. Put it into some of the various programs, and it spits everything out that I need. It connects everything, makes it look nice. Some of them put in interactive activities that you can adjust, but it's a lot nicer than just the white background with black print, or gray background with black print, or gray background with red print. It saves a lot of time on that, but all the information is already there and correct. So trying to get them that it's okay to, use it, give it the content, let it work with you, but don't use it as the whole shebang. And that's what we're trying to get to. And I think we're getting there.
Gotcha. Yeah. Hey, B-Pal, we already talked about you. Sorry, you missed your chance. And you're sorry.
The river was high. He couldn't get here. He couldn't cross the river in time.
Couldn't cross the river. The Susquehanna keeping them stuck. All right. So we'll jump into my next one. Again, my love of Minecraft, showing the Chargers video there. So this is a time where this is one thing I talk about at Pete and C. Using Minecraft in the classroom. There's a lot of different ways I use it, but one thing we developed as a sixth grade across the board is a very basic. So again, we're not trying to, rock kids. We're not trying to do anything too crazy, but we do want to pull it in and again, keep the kids engaged and having them do some building. So we enjoy sharing the love of HOA and how picky some HOAs can be. So homeowners association. So that's always very funny. So again, we have them, we talked to them, they bought land. They found out the HOA was picky. They tried to sell. Nobody wants to buy it. So we have them create a flat world. It's got to be, it's got to be creative. We're not worried about creepers and dying and all that jazz. And one of the first things the kids have to do is they have to make a garden. Half the garden has to have blue flowers. A third of it must have red flowers. Fill in the other that's left over, the space that's left over. 30 square units of area is the garden. They could put a fence on the outside, but the garden has to be that. The perimeter must be 22 units. So that's always interesting, reviewing that and the difference with, they get area, but then they get confused with perimeter. And the nice thing is, what I like about the Google Slides is when the kids put something on there, you pull it up, it does. So I put the first slide to be where they're putting their evidence, right? So I go back up to the first slide. They're going to do a screenshot of their garden when they're up, use the commands on a Chromebook or whatever you're using. They put in here, then they just fill in what are the types of flowers they use and what were the dimensions. Because again, 30, the 30 square units could be multiple dimensions. So that's day one. They get annoyed because they're not allowed to build their house yet. They're just building a garden. Then day two, the kids did this without me in the room today. Day two, we introduced, on the other side of the house. So they have to guesstimate how big their house is going to be. I got the garden here. I got to put this animal sanctuary on the other side, put a fence up. They're going to spawn some animals. So again, they take a picture, they work their way through. Tomorrow, we're going to be on day 3 of the build. And then day 3, they're going to be working with making a pathway in the front of their house. They still haven't even done it. And they're pulling in prime numbers. This could be edited for so many different things of what you're doing. You could even you've done different time periods and stuff in your classes. Mr. Sal. So you could do, on the one side, it could be, like a picture of somebody from a certain area on the ground, a pixelated picture. You could do the other side instead of the animals, could be different NPCs in this fenced-in area sharing information, breaking into some of that stuff. And then, so that's the next day. Then they roll into day 4 and they're like, okay, we're going to get to build our house today. Nope. It's a fenced-in pool, right? So now not they're having fun, but they're raging because they want to build a house. They want to build a secret basement. They want trapdoors. They want to go 60 feet high, right? All sorts of crazy stuff. But nope. Listen, the house is coming. You're going to get there, but you're going to do a perimeter of 36 meter or slash units. And that's what the pool has to be. Fill it with water. Make sure you don't go too deep in the ground, that the water just falls out. They want to add fish, have fun, go back, add other things, your other builds. So, you're getting them. And then the final build, I call it a Maths Mansion. There was this really old British TV show called Maths Mansion. It was like PBS. So we're going to design a house, 3-bedroom. Now, listen, here's the funny thing this year. We did this. We do a Maths Mansion throughout the year. So this is just a separate one. My 6th graders this year, like, how old are you? Because I said a family room. They went ballistic. They're like, it's not a family room. It's a TV room. It's a living room. What's a family room? And I'm like, listen, we call it a family room. I don't know. They were like, I'm like, listen, you guys know I'm 762 years old. I mean, I don't know. Maybe just, at the turn of the century, we used the word family room and we didn't use the other rooms, but I kind of tell them what a schematic is. And then they're able to kind of plunk that in the middle. And that's the end. But the nice thing is throughout it, they're having fun. They're engaged. It's pulling in the math. And then you're able to have them submit those artifacts. So you're able to kind of still give them credit for completion. You're seeing what they're doing. You're monitoring what they're doing. They're doing it in their own world, having fun doing it. So that's pretty cool. So yeah.
That is neat. We do not have Minecraft in our school. I wish we did. I keep pushing for it, and I try to get some of the computer teachers to get on board, but we've gotten shut down. What I do, because with the high school, with the number of field trips, May is between testing. We have tests, we have AP tests, we have the state tests, we have the finals for classes, we have field trips, we have students going volunteering, we have the Special Olympics, we have the playoffs for our sports teams and track and field, all that going on. So it's hard for the kids to make up work. So I do these little, like I said, the mini units. One that I rolled out last year combined Wakelet. They could use YouTube or Spotify, and pushing it out through a scavenger hunt, musical scavenger hunt. Had to be school appropriate songs, and I gave them like from 70s AM radio. Love my parents, but we didn't have FM radio when I was young.
Yeah.
We had the AM. And I remember sitting in the back of my dad's Monte Carlo, no air conditioning, but the window down. He's trucking along and listening to AM radio songs. As we traveled, there was no Sirius XM. There was no cassette player. We didn't have an 8-track player in the car. So it was just listening to no CDs. They weren't invented yet. Listening to AM radio. So we started with like AM radio. Then I did some punk rock, early new wave, early rap, pop. We got into like some boy bands of the 90s and just various genres up through like 2000s. And the music had to be school appropriate. And the kids would get me title artist, and the link either on Spotify or YouTube Music to the song. And we turned those in. And then I made a playlist, put it out on Wakelet, embedded it in my wiki site for my class. And it's like a fun thing. The kids would sit there and listen. I do playlists every so often, and the kids listen to that, and we'll play them whenever they come in the room. That's like the intro to what's going on. Sometimes it scares the kids. It's like certain genres of music, it's blasting. Like it's too loud. It's too early. I'm like, that's supposed to be my line. I'm the old guy. You can't hear that well. I'm like, that's true. That's why I play it loud. But I also like it loud. So
yeah, that's fine. This is the time of year for. There's way too much energy in this room. I love hearing that.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good stuff, man. I like that. Yeah, crank her out. All right, so here's my last one. I'm going to share. I forget. I guess it was through TCEA. So like PACT is the affiliate, now partner of ISTE for Pennsylvania. TCEA works out of Texas. And it was a article So this is going to be, and I'm going to put a bit.ly link up here shortly. Let's do this right here. So bit.ly/tech, capital T, TECHNOTE2. So bit.ly/technote2. And it's a link to this article, tools to save you hours of work as an educator. So this is kind of like, obviously now in the throes of March, you're not necessarily going to be breaking out necessarily a lot of these, but something to definitely, I've added it to my Microsoft to do, things to look at, but it just had some really cool stuff. Obviously we know ChatGPT. We've talked about that pretty good. Vidnose.com, convert text to video, generate AI video content, Curipod, Canva, Tome.app. I heard about early on. I've not really heard much lately about it, but building AI-powered presentations and storytelling slides. Quizlet, okay, and Quizzes we've been using a good bit this year. Figma, talked to them at ISTE last year. Plan on doing a little bit more. I've not really done too much in the classroom. But then down to productivity, right? Create beautiful screen recordings for tutorials, screen.studio. Let's see, I was looking at, so Murph.ai, generate realistic voiceovers for videos and podcasts and presentations. Of course, we love Suno.com. Love to reach out to them. If anybody knows anybody at Suno, love to have them and even throw some codes out for people. I love creating music there. So Moat, interestingly, that's been on our Chromebooks for a little bit, but now they have a little bit of a AI slice to it. Let me increase my font here a little bit for everybody. But again, so 32 tools to save hours of work as an educator. So bit.ly/capitalized T, technote2, TECHNOTE2. So the number 2 at the end. So just, some different stuff. Speechify, convert text into audio for differentiated instruction. Clockify Me, time tracking software, manage productivity. So a lot of really good stuff. Summarize YouTube videos with AI, like a lot of cool things there that I definitely plan on kind of like looking through, practicing a couple, kind of putting them on my tool belt next year, but still to keep that site. I imagine they're going to work on updating it, keeping it fresh, keeping it live, and with the different things that they're doing. So I just thought, what a way to roll into May. If you got some of those tasks that you're working on, doing at the last minute, maybe you could pull in some AI tools to help you out, make it a little faster. And then one of my favorite AI engines to ask questions right now, Perplexity. So PERPLEXITY.ai. So Perplexity.ai is one of the more accurate. So it get instant fact-checked answers to complex questions. But Perplexity.ai is a really great engine right now. A lot of good tools. So I'm hoping to do some videos later because I'm messing with YouTube Studio, Copilot Studio, trying to do some things in the back end to help with generation of testing and different things for next year. Just questions to be pull into the classrooms for exit tickets. So a lot of stuff on the horizons, a lot of homework. I'm planning on hitting the vendor floor at ISTE to have some conversations. But so just some tools to help save some hours of work as an educator. So I thought I'd throw those out there today. EdTech in full bloom, man.
Yeah, I'm going old school on my last thing. I do a summer reading project for my honor students, my US 2 honors. They read night and they had prompts. Well, up until this year, it hasn't been that big a deal. What I've always done was taken information from the book, given them 7 or 8 writing prompts or categories. And within each one, there was 2 or 3 options. Pick one of the questions, write to the prompt, personal experience tied in with details from the book, explain it. That's how I could tell the students read the book. Now with students using AI all the time, I ran a little test and went in like ChatGPT and a couple other tools, just took my prompts, threw it in, and didn't put any personal information in on me, but I made some stuff up. And it gave me a writing prompt, answered it without having to read the book. So I'm like, okay, this isn't good for an honors class. Because in the past, like I would get students, I could tell if they didn't read the book because they would give me a really good explanation about their life and what they liked and what was important to them, but there was nothing about the book. Or it would be a general. And it was really hard because he lived during the Holocaust. And that was like, okay, you didn't read the book. But with AI, you run into that
Yeah.
issue. So what I did was, I pushed it out to the kids. I ran in, like, there's a couple programs you could say, like, how can you anti-AI an assignment? So I pushed it into a couple tools like that. And I didn't really like what it gave me because it still wasn't what I wanted for the honors class. So I pushed it out to the kids, and I'm like, okay, this is, you guys went through this. And some of the kids, I let all the kids look at it. Some of the kids struggled with the assignment. Some of the kids didn't read the book. Other kids did really well and went above and beyond. And I'm like, okay, I need your input. And the competition between my sophomores and next year's sophomores, they were like, here's what you have to do. So I, tempered it a little bit and got their input. And we're working on different ways, because I think next week is our step up day. Well, next week will be our step up day where I roll out the assignment. So I'm thinking of making it more TikTok videos. They don't necessarily need TikTok, but they get a PDF copy of the book. So whenever I'm asking for evidence, they either need to screencast or they could sit there with their phone. And, if they have a physical copy of the book, because some kids were telling me, like, they went to the library, they didn't want to read the PDF copy, and I don't have enough paper copies for everybody just now. We have various versions. So, film it, talk about it, but you have to find that information in the book.
Yeah.
And some of the kids were like, well, because it's really not good at pulling, specific quotes from the book and telling you page numbers and this and that. And another student was like, well, because I used a book different, it's the same book, but it's a different version than what you had. Excuse me, different edition. My page numbers were going to be different. I said, well, you show video evidence. Like, here's my book. Here's where the quote is. Explain it as soon as you read it. So it's, getting the information from the kids, and they like playing detective and they like stumping other students. I mean, that was the one thing, even whenever I came up through school way back in the day and whenever I was in school, the hardest test questions were the ones my classmates wrote, because it's like, I'm going to see who doesn't know this, but I know this question, and they challenge each other. So putting it out to the students, like, okay, how should I handle this? How would you handle this? Great way. Just have to temper it a little bit, because sometimes they go a little over the top.
Yeah.
So little old school technology.
I like it. That's good stuff.
Thank you.
Good. All right, man. Well, we're about ready to roll into a little bit of some PAECT updates. So let's hit it. All right, so we got the month of May. Again, we're halfway in between. We had some board teachers, had some Canva, had some Curipod. We've got a virtual board meeting tomorrow, and we're in person in State College. So following that State College meeting, I'm going to be a lot of calendars in the process of being loaded up. One thing, just kind of like, we've got Oakdale Glows and Grows and Bedford Glows and Grows.
They're going to do a virtual connection.
Okay. So I got some stuff there. And location number 1, Black Dog Wine Company, and then Lifestyle Next Door. So got some 2 locations, and they're going to, I guess, what did you say, connected through Zoom?
Yes.
Awesome. Got that rolling. And then just kind of a fast forward. Obviously, we got ISTE coming up, but start thinking about keystones in cyberspace, together in cyberspace, KTIC. I believe they've solidified their list of presenters, and pretty soon they're going to want, members to sign up to attend virtually. So the KTI Summit online, for those of you who've been missing the KTI spirit. So a great opportunity for you to catch up with a lot of different people. So yeah. And then the final piece of PAECT updates is just to let you know, hopefully towards the end of this week, the RFPs for PEACT should be rolling out. So looking for the call for participations and sessions presentations. So we're going to start having that. We want to try to get it into inboxes before teachers shut it down. Take a little break so they can start getting their brains thinking about some different activities. So some stuff that's going to be rolling out. So be on the lookout in your email inboxes for that. So so we're already turning the page and getting ready to get that next chapter rolling for PEACT. So a lot of good stuff.
And I was talking with Addie Wallace, the Southwest Regional Director. Her and her board are working on the calendar for next year already, for the next school year, for events. Yeah. She was planning around like Tretzy. We have Pictella coming up, which PACT, it's not our conference, but we'll have a table there. Western Pennsylvania Council of Teachers of English have events going on. We're partnering with, but the regional directors are meeting with their boards, coming up with ideas. So check back to pact.org soon, because they'll be filling the calendar up probably after the June meeting. That's usually when the regional directors jump together and start planning everything out and sit down and go over stuff. So I know the boards are in motion to get stuff moving. So keep checking out. And, there's a lot going on. And Brendan, of course, Southeast. I know he's on the board out there. So
all right, the EAP. When's that going to happen, Mr. Powell? Do you know? Well, it's for the Southeast region. Do we know when? Bueller. Let's see if it pops up.
June 19th.
Okay. Hey, hold on a second. Why is that not kicking? Hold on. Oh, you must have clicked it, but in between, I was given the test. We got Miss Camille Dempsey. Oh, well, are those the Apple Vision? Is that the Apple Vision Pro she's wearing there? All right. Looking like
nice.
Might be. Good stuff. All right. Yeah. She's got some great AI stuff rolling. Oh, it's going to be regional director KB is going to be posting about it soon. All right.
Oh, and it's the Meta 3.
Meta 3. Gotcha. I have the old school Meta 2s over here somewhere I've been playing with, doing the virtual Apple Meta 3. I thought
Meta. Oh,
too many gadgets.
Now she's bragging.
Oh, I tell you, I know. Let me work on building an AI center here in my school and having all this product here. So I'm just going to come visit Edinburgh.
But
oh yeah, there you go. Trying to look smart because somebody wore
my old school newfangled virtual glasses.
Oh yeah. Those are not high tech, my friend. Not high tech.
You don't know that.
High plastic. Oh, that's funny. I know. Those are the schools, I believe. Yep. All right. Good stuff. Well, a lot of stuff going on in PACT. A lot of good stuff happening around. Oh, an event at the center. Oof, that would be fun. I don't know. All right. Camille, what do you think? I think Miss Dempsey, I think we could do it. Have PACT sponsor a little get together.
Yeah. Oh, she's way too kind.
Jeez. Oh my word.
That's how I got into grad school the first time. I wore a sweater and glasses. I looked intellectual.
Like, let the nerd in. That's why he doesn't get in the Steelers games. They don't let the nerds in. The exact opposite. Funny stuff. All right, brother. Well, a lot of stuff going on. Hopefully our dog walkers are not experiencing any weather. We got crazy weather rolling in the rest of this week and the next week. And
oh yeah,
hopefully you're in full bloom with your education technology towards the end of this month, keeping those kids engaged and, getting all the last minute lessons. And one of my big lessons, Dom, that I have to teach my sixth graders as they're leaving our building and going to our middle school, how to use combination lock. They've had unlocked lockers for 3 years in our building. And now next year they get a combination lock, and those locks are, I wore the oldest t-shirt I have that I bought from 99, and those lockers were old back then. And so they got to practice using those bad boys and getting them open. And I think they have 4 minutes to get to their lockers and get to their next class. Do you guys have combo locks on your lockers in the school?
Yeah, it's not built in. We encourage the students to use the combination lock so they can bring a key, but want us to go to the office. And that is like the first week of school, teachers like coming in from bus duty, be a kid sitting there, and you can tell by their face, panic, like this lock isn't going. And hold on, let me help you out. And teachers are working the lockers,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get them to, unlock things. But it is. And I can tell the kids use a lock, because I used to have students, whenever I used physical textbooks, they'd leave their textbooks in the desk all year long, and people would prank them, and the textbook would disappear week before school was out, and they'd have to pay for it. And it's like, don't leave stuff laying around. Lock your lockers.
Pal, yeah, we know 6 years ago you didn't have to use your locker, but back in the day they forced us to use our lockers. All right, buddy?
Yes. Those stone tablets. Those stone tablets got heavy lugging them around all day long.
You couldn't carry those all day long. You didn't have the stamina. You had to lock those bad boys up and put your dinosaur on a leash when you were walking out to get it.
Yeah.
Flintstones were a real deal. All right, brother. Well, listen, I think that's a wrap for the PAECT pod, education technology at its finest. What do you think?
Sounds good. We will be live at
right.
ISTE, so check us out there.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a unique live. We'll have to figure out what we're doing, because our session's a little different this year. We'll talk about that in June. And Missy, I was thinking it. I wasn't going to say it. Put it up on the screen. I wasn't going to talk about people getting locked in lockers. I got some good stories.
If she liked better musical groups, maybe she wouldn't have been stuffed in people's lockers.
I tell you.
So that's to learn to shake it off and move on.
AI is going to tell us you need to talk more about lockers. Your engagement went through the roof when discussing lockers and locker traumatic experiences from high school. Oh, and we'll have we've got to get a PAECT pod couch for that one. Oh yeah, so that back in the rugby days, I don't think rugby players got locked in lockers. I think they were doing the locking. Just throwing it out there. All right, well listen, this has been the PAECT pod, and as always, PAECT.
We are
the voice of EdTech
in Pennsylvania
and
beyond.
Thank you so much for being here.
PAECT and the PAECT pod would like to thank all of our sponsors. Our Tier 3 sponsors, EduSpire, Tech the Next Step. Our Tier 2 sponsors, ClassLink, more time learning, less time logging in. ClearTouch. Our Tier 1 sponsors, Teachers First. Once again, PAECT and the PAECT pod would like to thank all of our sponsors for the support that allow us to do what we do. Thank you.